All right. Thank you, everyone. Yes, Nicole, you just start purple. Yes. So, thank you, everyone. I'm Natasha Green. I am the owner of Hidden Gems Archery. So, we bring archery to the different communities in the school system. I am the owner of We Intervene. We help to increase family and community engagement via my app and tool, We Intervene. And then lastly, I host appreciation events, right? For school counselors, social workers, parent coordinators, APs. It's just something I love doing. So the reason why we're doing this today, and we're starting early on this initiative of having conversations, innovative thoughts and ideas, coaching around parent engagement, family community engagement, is because this work is never easy. And it's never easy, especially if you do it by yourself and you're the only one at your school navigating 300 families, 500 families, 1,000 families. And so when you get to this level of engagement, outreach, you actually need different tools and also a different mindset. So today we have Coach Wayne Brown. We call him Coach Light. He's going to walk us through some things to make sure that we're getting our proper mindset as it relates to this work. Then also connecting with each one of us to determine how do we move forward in some of the initiatives we have and the ideas that we have. As always, I will be in the background, taking notes, figuring out how I could help you all as it relates to opportunities and options. And if we do not have it, we will build it. So definitely I have a different mindset as it relates to that. All right. All right. I'm passing it over to you, Coach Brown. Coach Light.
Hey, great morning, everyone. And I'm going to pull a quick audible before I jump in, because I know Natasha had shared, some people can be off camera, but I'm inviting everyone to come onto the screen. And why am I doing that? Because I like to actually interact with you, because it's not about me, it's actually about you guys, right? The parent coordinators. And it's okay, right? Some of you guys are getting ready, getting your things together for school. You might be working from home. Some people might still be on vacation, right? You might be chasing kids around, you might be shopping. You might be doing whatever it is that you're doing. And most importantly, I want to acknowledge you for being here with us this morning at 10:07. What's today's date? The 31st, right? The last day of August, as we get ready to get ourselves into the new month and the new school year, because that's what we're here. And before I share a little bit about me, I want to ask each and every one of you parent coordinators to just actually acknowledge yourself right now. Right? Acknowledge yourself for, right? Oh, I'm going to turn up this morning, all right? And intentionally, because who normally claps for us? Who celebrates us in our now? If not you, if not us right now, who? Come on, right? I'm calling people out. I see you. Is it Neocola, right? Is that the right way to pronounce your name? I said I'm gonna interact with people here this morning.
Nope.
All right. So, how do I pronounce your name?
It's Nyoka.
Nyoka. All right. I enlarged my screen, and guess what? This presentation is about being able to make mistakes too. Oh man, right? What do those things look like? But to be successful as we continue to move forward, because each one of you are here because of either the celebration of the pleasure that you have being a parent coordinator, or the fact that sometimes, guess what? There's some situations, some problems we made along the way, right? If you touch and agree with me around that, put a heart up, right? Do a thumbs up, put some type of emoji, put something in the chat. And if you're not on camera, that's how I know that you're interacting. All right. And even if you're not on the screen, it's okay for you to come off the microphone and speak, right? Because again, I shared, this is about you guys having your voice, right? Your participation and what matters most to you as parent coordinators. So who I am again is I'm Coach Light, which means this acronym stands for Live Your True Expression, also lifting youth right through entrepreneurship. And who I am in the world, first, I'm a dad. Yes, I'm a dad. And don't judge me, you guys, all right? I'm a homeschool parent coordinator. And I'm going to tell you briefly how I got to become that. And shout out to the parent coordinator right? Val from Ella Baker School, because I like to acknowledge people who've supported me in the past. If it wasn't for that parent coordinator to support me on that day before, right? The day before school started, about 6 years ago, before my son was in 7th grade, I wouldn't have known what school to get my son into. And it was because of the parent coordinator's due diligence, right? Her love and just her generosity and who she was as a mover and shaker to make things happen for my son. He would have not been enrolled into that school. So I wanted you guys to know why I'm here. And also, right, I want to just let you know, why am I homeschooling now? Because I've been recovering from an accident and had to restructure some of my lives, of my life, right? Now, I share that because every parent leans on you guys as parent coordinators, right, to make things happen that they don't even know about in the school, right? Am I right or am I right? Or am I right or am I wrong? All right? And this is one of those times that I also want to share, want to get a feel of who's in the space, right? You know, if you're a parent coordinator, right, put your hands up, right? Put a thumb up, you know, put an emoji, put something in the chat, right? Are you a parent? Right, put your hands up. Are you other faculty, administration, or you're an educator, or you're a teacher as well? Because we all have different perspectives in this journey called supporting our what? Our school and our students. And like I shared with you guys before, we're all in different positions and perspectives. So I'm gonna ask you to write that down, because I'm gonna be dropping some gems and some distinctions. And one of those is position and perspective, right? Because when we have distinction, when we have an understanding of what we're actually speaking about, then we have a clearer, right? We have a clearer context of how we're informed and how we're moving forward. All right. So, you know, I don't know if some people know, you know, there was an old TV show called Zoobly Zoo or Romper Room, and they used to acknowledge people's names. So I will say, you know, good morning, Nicole. Good morning, A. Gonzalez. Good morning, Will. Good morning, M. Pomis Motto. Come and correct me on your name. Good morning, Wendy. Good morning, Admin Eddie. Right? Lena. Catherine. Right? Everyone. So like I shared this morning, Stacy as well, we're going to actually turn up this morning. Because why? We got to turn up before these kids turn up. Parent coordinators. Right? Do you have to bring energy to your position daily? I'll wait. I'm cross my arms and wait. Do you have to bring energy? Do you have to be full of enthusiasm? Do you have to be optimistic? Somebody, Nicole said, yep. Right? Now, based upon
yes,
that,
indeed.
There's going to be about, exactly, come on, yes, indeed. Right? Now, why you going to constantly hear me interact with you? Because I'm going to give you another distinction. It's called a call to action. Now, parent coordinators, are you always making requests of people? You know, asking for some things, looking for some type of team and support? I'm gonna wait again.
Yep.
Nicole said, "Yep, thank you." You know, and ultimately, I want everyone to grab their pen, because there's going to be about 10 different distinctions, and I'm gonna give them to you as words, and I want you to write these things down. So stay with me, because if I move a little fast, say, "Hey, Coach Light, you're moving at the speed of light." If you need me to slow down a little bit, I will as well. But the first piece that we're going to start off with is the intimacy, right, that you have in connection to your position, right? And when I say that, people ask me, like, what does that mean, right? Are you choosing to stay stable and committed in what you're doing? Now, in this position of you guys as parent coordinators, right, do you find that this position of what you're doing in connection to your title, your role, right, your position, your perspective, or do you feel that this is an intimate experience for you?
Absolutely.
All right, who was that?
Nyoka.
Nyoka, thank you, Nyoka. And can you share with us, can you share an example of what that is for you?
I find it to be personal, being a parent coordinator. You could reflect on having to say that it becomes personal for you. You know, it can be personal because if you're a parent, you understand what a parent is going through. You know, so I find it to be, you know, intimate in that way.
Right. Now I want to ask you, and I'm going to rewind because I gave a distinction. I said about like the stability and the commitment. Now, do you guys, and we're going to create a safe space because, right, this is what we do for our children and our students in the school, right? But now I want to ask the question, are safe spaces being created and committed for you guys as parent coordinators? Right, where you actually have the intimate space, right, to be able to say, you know what, this is what I'm experiencing, right? This is what's working for me. This is what may not be working for me. Right, come on, right? And look, if I can't see you off camera, if you blink for me, blink, right? Because sometimes, watch this. Sometimes, because we're in these positions of employment, sometimes we feel like we may not have a space to speak. Now, I want to ask this question. Sometimes have anyone in your, you know, as a parent coordinator, have you felt like you don't have your full self-expression as a parent coordinator? Checking in with everyone. Right, got some people that said yes, right? You got some people that's in the background, they getting they busy, they, you know, conversation on in the back. And you know, what comes around that is actually feeling like you have a trusting environment, right? So one of those second distinctions after, like I shared about, you know, the intimate connection, right, with the position and perspective of you as a coordinator is you actually have a trusting environment. But the first trusting environment is with yourself. Right? The first one is with yourself. Now, I want to ask someone, right? I said I'm going to go here this morning, right? If we had to say level 1 to 10, you trust in yourself as a parent coordinator and what you're doing, how you do it. Where are my people who are at the top of the scale, like breaking the scale, saying, you know what, yes, I'm beyond the 10. Right? And there also may be some people that may not feel like they're a 10. You may be just starting off as a parent coordinator. Some of my new people, you may be in process as a parent coordinator. And you may be trying to figure out, like, how do I get this done? Right? And again, this is why we're here having this conversation, because you may not know someone, right? And unfortunately, right, we all know Natasha, right? Because that's why we're all here. Shout out to Tasha, right? Because it's about the network. And then it's about us being able to trust the fact that we're part of a beautiful network that's committed to what? Making a difference with who? The parents, the students, and the administration. Right? So this is why earlier today I asked a question about who's in the space, because we all have different positions and perspectives. So you see, remember that distinction I shared earlier about position and perspectives, because those gives us different vantage points, right? It lets us know exactly how we're operating. Okay. Now, if anybody in here play sports? If you play sports, give me a hand up. Let me see. I want to see where all my team players at. If you're a team player, put your hand up, right? And if you did play sport, tell me what the sport was. Put it in the chat. Let us know what exactly sport that you played, right? Now, you might say, Coach Light, why are you sharing that? Because again, this is about community. Right? Natasha put basketball, okay? Now, if you haven't played a sport, aren't you part of a community? That's why we're here. I know it sounds like I'm stating the obvious, but sometimes don't we have to re-presence ourselves to our everyday experience? And don't we have to actually remind ourselves of why we're doing this? Right? And for the next, someone in the building, please tell me how many school days there are in the 2023-24 year. How many school days is it? Let me know how many days. Somebody let me know. I know somebody here is a math person. I know, because some of you parent coordinators, right? You over there filling out spreadsheets, you're sending out emails, right? You got all of that busy work of being like organized and calculated. And where my math people at? I need someone to let me know how many school days are in this school calendar year. All right? Because every day of this year, you're going to be checking back in. And you're going to be checking back in with the basic things. Right? You're going to be asking this question. Am I capable of doing this? Now, that's the third distinction that I'm going to go over a little bit. Like, am I capable of continuously doing this, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Who else working on Saturday and Sunday? I'm going to wait again. Parent coordinators. 178 instructional days. Now, I want to ask, parent coordinators, are you working on Saturdays and Sundays to maintain your position? Wendy, was that a yes? Stacy, right? Christine, Denise, Makiba, right? Someone said only if there's an event, right? Now, right? Someone else says sometimes. And also that comes back to your commitment of what you're up to. And sometimes, right, we may be boggled down because of the school day, all the things that we have to get done, and then us managing our time effectively. Right? So, and if you find yourself like, you know, sometimes we might not want to say, man, you know what, I am working on the weekend. Now, you may not be in front of the computer, but I'm going to ask this question. Do you find yourself sometimes on a Saturday or a Sunday thinking about what you have to do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday in your position? Christine says yes. Nicole says no, right? And, right, other people say yes. Okay, that's why we're here, right? Because there's 4 aspects of the things that you guys are requested upon. And I'm going to pause there because I gave you 3 pieces, right? And I said it's 10. You thought I was going to like go through all of them. I don't want to bombard you that way, because this is me actually wanting to see exactly, you know, where you are as a parent coordinator. But what I do want to go and speak to you is ask you a question about, you know, how does it feel for you creating a welcoming school environment for parents? Right. What is that experience for you? You know, show of hands. Are you, right? You find that happening with ease, or are you struggling with that? Right? If you find creating a welcoming school environment for your parents, like, you know, this is easy breezy, lemon squeezy, as we say with the kids when you have them clean up, right? If you find it simple, right, let us know. Right? Because this is one of those times where if you are someone that's excelling at that, we'd love for you to actually share that. Right? Share that with someone. Right? Come on with it. We're going to treat this like this is Thanksgiving weekend. Oh, some of us already planning for that, right? I know some of you guys, once day 1 of 178 start, you're like, Thanksgiving break, right there, planning for the school breaks off. Oh, I'm the only person that ever thought about that. I forgot to tell you guys, I also worked in education. I work more in this special education side of things, right? I work more on the behavioral side of things. So I did share about me being a parent, but I forgot to share that part about me, because it's about you guys, right? It's about you guys being able to move forward in this, right? So Nicole said, right, creating a welcoming school environment for me is a little easy because I live in the community I serve. Right? If anyone else agrees with Nicole and they have that same piece, right? Can you put a thumbs up? Right? Makiba says the same thing as well. Right? Jackie says, I find it smooth. Right? Go with the flow. That's one of my words. I love flow. Right? I try to relate with the community best. She said, I try to relate with the community best so I can, for I live in the community. Right, so like how are you relating to the community? What are some of your best practices? Like, what are you doing to actually engage with your community so that they're fully, right, receiving you? Now, I'm going to ask this question too. Is anyone having some challenges, right, creating a welcoming school environment for their parents? If you are, let us know. Put your hands up, right? You know, if not, and everyone is in a different position of, right, self-disclosure. If you do not feel comfortable sharing it that way, please directly message, right, DM myself or Natasha, right? Because that's what we're here for, right? We're here to actually support you in these 4 areas, about making sure that in the area where you're creating a welcoming school environment for parents, that you continue to excel and that you're getting the support and the resources to do so, right, from a community standpoint. And then we have some other tips and practices around that. And then, right, secondly, when it comes to another part of increasing, you know, parent involvement in the school through outreach programming, how's that working for you guys? Right, is that working? Has that worked last year? And if so, if you have a best practice, like, do share what that is.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in because I think this is very important. So one of the things that I want y'all to know, and I see that Denise is like, I'm a first year PC, I live in the community I serve, right? And there are times, you know, it's hard to engage with parents, right, in the community. So what I would do, and usually I tell like community volunteers, because I actually lead volunteerism for a global community, and I start with what you care about, what you're passionate about. If you could build around something that you care deeply about, is it tech? Is it painting? Is it drawing? Like whatever that is, and you build around something that's also going to help you and feed you and excite you to organize and plan, right? It also helps because now, let's say I want to learn how to do this artwork. I'm like, okay, let me find this vendor. Okay, I found a vendor. Let me put it out into our little survey of what parent and family will love to come and show up to do art on this day. And I feel like driving and going with what I like to see happen, it's a start, because sometimes you might go to someone else and go to 100, 200, 300 parents and saying, what would you like to do? So now we spent a whole month, a month and a half, 2 months trying to gauge interest. And now we're close to now Christmas, right? Or Thanksgiving, and nothing has happened. But then if you lead with something like, what's going to give me joy in September? What's going to give me joy in October? That's one of the techniques that could also help drive. All right. Is there anybody else want to jump in on that idea of how you could, you know, get things going the first year or two? Okay. Thanks, Nicole. All right. I'm going to pass it over to you. Back to you, Coach Light. But I just feel like don't always feel like I got to figure out what they want to do. Like sometimes you got to go with your intuition and your heart and saying today is the day, or October, the first Thursday in October, like this event. This event was really quick. I sent it out Monday. Today is Thursday. I already knew y'all were going to be super busy next week, but I told Coach Light, like, it's in my heart and mind to start creating ideas, innovations, and we're not going to get to everything today. Like he said, he had 10 points, but what we can get to today is what is this one idea that can move you one more step forward in wherever y'all want to go, right? And so that's what I'm tasking some of y'all to do. Like, set that date up. First Thursday in October, first Friday in October, right? Coffee and chat. Right? Baseline the success. We sent out 100 emails, 100 whatever. 5 people replied. That's a good. I baselined it, right? And then next month will be a different strategy. All right, Coach Light, go ahead. Back to you.
And that's perfect what Natasha just shared, because remember, I went through 3 distinctions out of the 10. The third one was, I said, about, right, being capable, and that was around handling like everyday, you know, decisions or choices and responsibilities. And right, most importantly, being able to ask for support, assistance, or help. Now, you heard me say support, assistance, or help. Those 3 words land distinctly different and communication with people. I'm gonna just pause for a minute. And I'm gonna ask everyone, right? What word resonates for you? Assistance, support, or help? Right? What word are you ready to actually be in action? What calls you to action? We have support. We have support, right? Support. All right, support. Right. So again, I said assistance, support, or help. Right. Someone else said help. I'll say those three words again: assistance, support, or help. Okay. And within that, right, because these are actually synonymous, right? They're synonymous with the point of just saying, like, hey, right, I'm doing something big, and simply can't all be completed by me, by myself. Okay. Now, I saw someone also had shared that they were on a PTA or PTA president, right? And how are you supporting, right, the parent associations? Right? Are you finding it, simple? Right? Are you finding it challenging? What's working for you? What's not working for you? And I want to just share. Yes, did I see someone pop up on the screen? Right. And I'm asking. All right, someone said it varies from executive board to executive board. It varies from executive board to executive board. Right? And why again? I'm asking for your voice. Right? It's okay to hear me speak. But this is a point for you guys to ask questions, right? For you to actually share in these areas again.
Art Gonzalez raised his hand.
Yes.
Hi, good morning. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'm on the school computer. I wasn't sure. Good morning, everyone. I'm actually a very, very new PC, as in I just started Monday. However, I was the PA president, just like Miss Nicole. So I haven't paired up with my Parents Association yet for this school. However, I plan to treat them the way I wanted my PC to treat me, or the relationship that I have with my PC from my daughter's school where I'm a PA president, which is, there's some discipline as to the way we, or structure, not discipline. There's some structures of the way we plan out events and things like that. However, there's also a friendly, I'm here for you mentality. So that's what I'm hoping to bring to this PA when I meet her as a PC.
If I heard you correctly, you said I'm here for you mentality.
Mm-hmm. But I'm here, but
support, right?
Yeah, supportive, but understanding, or with the understanding that there are a structured guidelines. We have to follow our regulations. We have to abide by permits and things like that. There are certain structures that we have to put in place to make sure that it's a smooth running PA.
Right. That leads into another piece that I want to share out of these 4 points of another segment that Natasha and we spoke about, that we would love to go over with people, over a series. And it's really in centered around your distinct roles and responsibilities as parent coordinators, right? And when you shared about, the here for you mentality, it's how are you supporting your school principal, as well as how are you supporting your school principal in addressing, right, parent concerns, while at the same time is your principal there in support of you as you're bridging as the liaison to the parents. Did y'all hear that word? I'm about to give you another distinction, right? Do you guys serve as like a liaison between, you know, right, the admin and the parents? Do you feel like that? And I want to ask, I want to hand this over to each and every one of you, because in this point, right, I want to ask you, you know, how do you define your role as a parent coordinator? And as you define your role, if you share, I'm asking if you could share briefly, like how long you've been a parent coordinator, so we really get an understanding of like really who's here, right? So thank you, Mr. R. Gonzalez, right, for sharing. Because you said this again is your first year, correct?
Yes, it is actually my first week.
And right,
as a PC.
right, as a PC. So I'm gonna go back to those three distinctions of right, intimate, trusting, and capable. Right. Thank you for exhibiting all three of those. Right. Being trusting to come off a camera. Right. To share. Hey. Right. I'm a newbie, but I got life experience. Right. And right, showing your capability of saying like, listen, I'm here. I'm ready to do it. Right. And then ultimately being intimate with us, sharing like, listen, this is my heart, right? This is what I'm working on. So for all y'all people that's been out there, that's been here for a while, come on off screen or right, come off mic. Let us know how long have you been a coordinator, so we really get an understanding of who's in the building, right? Because you already heard Mar Gonzalez said, listen, I'm new here. You gotta think out.
Everything in order.
And if you can raise, like, hold on a second, can we raise our hand? I love it. I get to ask the parent coordinators, can you raise your hand? And then Sasha will unmic you so that we can handle that. Thank you.
And no worries, some people just jump on and they're it's off me.
All right. But and also, right, thank you, Kay Gonzalez, for putting it in the chat. Thank you, right? Can you put it in the chat as well? Right, how long have you been a parent coordinator? All right. So the other piece that I wanted to ask in these areas of, I had shared with you guys about, you know, you creating a welcoming school environment for your parents. Like, is that simple for you? Oh, see, Nayoka has a hand raised as well. Right, we're gonna go over a few more things. Yes, Nayoka.
Hi, I've been a parent coordinator since 2003. I'm one of the first ones on.
All right, and thank you. Now, do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions?
Sure.
Someone who's been here, who's a vet in this, right? So first, and everybody, let's all put some love in the space, right? Put the hands up, put some hearts, clap. Right, you said since 2003, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, neat.
Now, somebody said an OG, yes, right? So, I want to ask you, what has worked for you over these 20 years? What do you see as consistent that has worked for you?
What works for me is mainly because I live in the community. So most of the parents here, it's so funny, most of the parents I went to high school with, you know, and having their children here, you know, is a good thing. It's a good thing because, like I said, I know most of the parents, the community, knowing, you know, all the stores in the neighborhood, community-based organizations. And it's just, you know, being a people person works for me. You know, getting to know the families and getting to know, you know, their needs. You know, that's a plus. And and the fact that, you know, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm like all over the place right now. The fact that they can, you know, relate to me being in the neighborhood and knowing some of the things that are out here that I can say, hey, you know what, I know what that store is, and I know what this organization is, you know, things that will help them. So it's beneficial.
Yeah, and I also second that too. I don't know if y'all can hear me.
That's my colleague, Mr. Eddie.
Yeah, what's going on? I also second that.
All right,
too.
Eddie.
Yeah, I also second that too, because like I think when you being from the neighborhood, what works is that they have this sort of trust with you or understanding with you, or a sign of like a connection with you. So I think that's a plus thing too. So I also agree.
And you know, that's perfect because, right, here's one of those bonus distinctions that I had. I gave you 4: the intimacy, trust, and capability. But what Nyoka and Eddie are speaking to is about social acceptance. Right, the fact that the community, you know, community is connected, but you've also given yourself the opportunity and a chance to connect to others. Is that spot on?
Yes, I'm sorry. Say that again.
I said, you've given yourself the opportunity and a chance, right, to actually connect to others over time.
Oh, definitely. And also the fact that, you know, I'm also a parent, and my children went to the schools in the neighborhood as well. So it definitely, you know, feels like home. You know, if the new PCs, got your work cut out for you, babies. Got your work cut out. But it in the long run, it's really good. It really is. I actually love my job. You know, and that's a plus. When you can actually enjoy what you're doing, believe me, it's beneficial to everyone.
Now, this is perfect. You heard Nyoka share. She said she loves her job. If you love your job, put some hearts up. Put some hearts up. Right? You know, there you go, right? Put the hearts up.
It's tough sometimes. You just gotta wing it. Just gotta wing it the best way possible.
Now, can you share a little bit more about your winging it? Now, are you wing? See, you a veteran around here with some things, so your winging it has come from you developing, right, some muscle, some, you know, organization, some structure, right, some confidence. Remember, you see those first 3 distinctions again. I say capability, right? You know that you're capable. Look, Nyoka over here said just wing it now. Be in that flow. I think that's what she's sharing.
You know what it is by saying it, winging it? I mean, it's kind of, I guess because, like I said, I'm a OG. So, you know, my thing is trying to wing it for some people talking about. You know, basically it's just trying to, like I said, you ride your ride, let's say, okay? Get the help that you need, you know, ask. There's nothing wrong with you not asking, you know, for help. You know, I mean, granted, somebody can even reach out to me if they need help. You know what I'm saying? I'm like a bucket full of resources, you know, and you're more than welcome. I can put my number out there. You're more than welcome to call me, more than welcome to come in to see me, you know, by all means. And it's gonna have some bad days, you know, but you just got to be able to say, well, you know what, let me see if I can ask somebody for help. Don't be afraid to ask. You know, a lot of PCs that just come in, they're afraid to ask because they figure only their positions are only to do certain things. No, you got a wide range of things that you're able to do. Don't be afraid. That's what I'm saying. Just don't be afraid.
Right. And you know, you just put something out there, and I want to ask this to the group, to the community, right? Are you serving as the point of contact for parents? I'm, you know, you might love the kids. Do you like the parents? Sometimes you might not always, you know, like the kids, and then you might love the parents. right? And I'm asking that because I'm having a human conversation, because we have our emotions, right? We have our experiences. We have a daily, right, balance. Now, that's what I'm here about. And it's really about being able to keep the constant reminder of being optimistic, right, while being realistic and pragmatic in your approach, right, to be able to accomplish, the tasks that you have in your roles and your responsibilities as a parent coordinator. Now, I wanted to ask another space where in certain areas, when I shared before about creating a welcoming environment for the parents, do you find yourself enthused about creating an atmosphere, right? Actually putting up posters, bulletins, are you connected and presenting, like creating the ambience of the school per se, right? Like you're leading in that, like saying, hey, right, that welcoming. Now, I'm gonna give you a little personal example of something that, again, would inspire me to be here with you guys today, because the parent coordinator that made a difference with me shaped me to then be a part of, right, the PTA. I was one of those parents, right, as well. And on top of that, I was a single dad doing it as well, right? So for me, I felt very welcomed by the role and position that you guys hold. Now, you see the lasting effect of that, right? That's a 7-year impact. And I can also tell you, then I had also met some other parent coordinators that I'm like, I don't understand this. I'm not sure if I want my child here. Okay? So I'm going there a little bit. Right? Because it goes, and right, Natasha put the emoji. Oh, yeah. Right, realistically. Because I was like, are you hearing my concern? Are you also hearing what I'm trying to figure out, right, along the way? And a lot of times I'm going to ask this question. Do you guys, what are some of the what do you feel like some of your unofficial tasks are? Right? Come on. Right? What's an unofficial task, that you've discovered over this time? Because, right, we have, R. Gonzalez. What's your first name? I'm just going off the screen.
Wrote it in there. My first name is Rosa. Rosa.
Rosa. Okay. Right. Rosa.
I don't have headphones, so I'm
right, we have Rosa
my
here.
Monitor. Yeah.
Rosa. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we have someone. Stacey said therapist. Right. Right. Somebody getting counsel. You over here trying to coordinate for an event. You got a parent coming in talking about what they're dealing with the teacher, maybe, right?
What I've also seen,
Lena
what
said
I've
counsel.
also experienced in my school where I'm a PA president, there's 3 parent coordinators there, and they tend to be bathroom monitors, hallway monitors, and just making copies, random stuff.
What? we didn't know that the parent coordinators was the in school Kinkos. You guys remember Kinkos? What happened to them? Right? Stacey said lunch monitor, right? Come on. Oh, let me find out. Ain't nobody ever been a nurse? Ain't nobody had to pick it, take a kid? Right?
Even as a PA president, I was the nurse. I would put Band-Aids and compresses, and as a PA mom.
Right. Yeah. And also, someone said a school dean. But now, I want to share something from a totally different perspective. All right. So we've seen the scale of the space of the room, right? Someone who has 20 years in, someone who right, is, he said just since Monday, right? Right, brand new. Okay, two days in, right? 2 days to 20 years. Now, everyone is in this new space of inclusion and integration since, right? We had time off, right? And I joke and I share it this way. It's like somehow we're like in like X-Men Endgames, you know? Like it's like, hold on, what happened? 2-3 years went away, and then poof, we're back. Like we're still getting used to being with one another again. Oh yeah, that's why I'm here today, right? That is why I'm here today, because the conversation that constantly needs to be had, and this is why Natasha and I have created, right, these weekly sessions that we're going to roll out to work with parent coordinators, because we are now in this whole conversation in a new period in time where everyone is integrating back in, right? And I'm not going to go too far into this, right? But also, Coach Light, right? I am actually a professional therapist, right? So, but my style of connecting is from an intimate, let's connect, right? Let's be trusting with one another, and let's show what we're capable of doing, right? Let's also, right, connect and be socially acceptable of first ourselves and then connecting with others. And then I'm gonna give you another distinction, because I told you I had 10 for you guys. So I made it through half of the list. Okay, the next one is actually having reasonable expectations. Okay, having reasonable expectations. And now, why am I sharing that? Because having reasonable expectations is where fulfillment actually lives, right? Where success and fulfillment actually gets cultivated. Now, each one of you are the professional in this role as a parent coordinator, right? Now, but really, I want you to just think about, I'm inviting everyone to share something. Something happens when we speak it out, something happens when we type it out. You know, what's an expectation, what's a goal like that you're setting for the 23-24 year for yourself? Like, give me a personal one, give me, right, a professional one, all right? And put it in the chat. Come off the mic. Let us hear it, right? Speak it into existence. So, let's see. I'm gonna call on some people. Can I call on some people? Christine, are you there? Right. Stacy, are you there? Will, are you there? Lena, are you there? Denise, are you there? Makiba, are you there? Merva, are you there? Nayoka, are you there? Hey, are you there? Hey.
Hi.
Lena, all right.
No, I'm Marva.
Hey.
I'm Marva.
All right. Cool, Marva. You have voice. You have the air.
Right. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
And go for it. Right. What is one? I shared.
Oh, she said, give her 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, she said, give her 1 second. But as Coach Light is asking y'all, one personal, one professional, the reason being is we have 6 more minutes with each other. But you all are going to galvanize us. And let me put my spotlight on so y'all see me. You all are going to galvanize us to make sure that we do the work that fits you, right? So one of the things that he talked about is, if we know your goals and vision, like today it was laying the foundation on what does it mean to have intimacy as it relates to your job. And usually when we think about intimacy, it's something else, about having trust, about being capable. And all of these things collide in this idea of, where do I see the future of this school? Where do I see the future of myself? Is the goal to make sure that parents know that they could come and connect with me every time, anytime? Is the goal for me to say, you know what, on this date, I'm gonna do this for this school, but I also know gotta have a clear boundaries and distinction of what I gotta do in my personal life. And these are goals that you can set and still be effective, right? So when Rosa put to get my kids up early and school on time. You want to know something? That's a great goal, right? Because if that goal is reached on a daily basis, then you move forward to the next thing you have to do on your schedule, and it will therefore be on time, right? So I'm going to kick it back to Coach Light, but I do want you all to know that we're going to work on either next week, setting something up maybe a Friday morning. I'll ask you all, or we'll set it up in 2 weeks. But the reason why I want to go hard the next 4 weeks to start laying the foundation down so y'all are okay. And by having our goals, I could point y'all and we'll just say, here, this is where you need to go to. So I'm going to pass it back to you, Coach Light, to see and navigate accordingly. But then I want to make sure that people know that this is going to happen, right? This is on my heart. And I believe that we have the skill sets to make sure that you're okay with everything that you do. So go ahead, Coach Light.
Right. I saw Lynn had her hand raised. Oh, excuse me, Lena.
Hi, good morning.
Good, Lena?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Great day. Yes, we can.
Okay, so one of my goals this year and here in our school is we already have an effective communication here in our building, but I want to develop those relationships, stronger relationships. And that's one of my main goals this year with my families. We have a lot of new families coming into the building. Yes, I'm bilingual. I'm able to provide a lot of support and help to our families. But what about the rest of the other families? When I don't speak the language, how can I get to them? How can they already feel welcome to our building, but how can they be present here? Not just for the workshops, so some of the parent-teachers conference when I'm with meetings. Like, I want them to feel like, yes, you belong to, or you are part of our community, and you have so much to contribute to our school community. So that's one of my goals this year.
Yeah, before I jump in, anyone want to jump in and feel like share with Lena what you thought? I have a couple of thoughts. I always have a couple of thoughts. But does anyone here, Nicole, Denise, Eddie, want to jump in? Her question is, how can she make people feel present, make the other families who do not speak Spanish feel like she's there for them, right? What have worked for someone else in the room? All right, I'll jump in because we're limited time. So Lena, some of the things I'm hearing is that your communication tool, you say it's great. And I'm going to go to the angle of data, but then also the angle of qualitative. So baseline, what is great is, right? So if you have a communication tool, how many families do you say you have at your school?
So right now we are up to 350. We are at 350. Yes.
Okay, you have 350. So what you will have to do is also baseline. I say we have great communication because 100 parents replied to me when I send the email. I don't know what great communication is. You really are going to have to quantify great communication. Why? Because the next part will be, what does strong relationships look like for you? Like if you don't baseline, like this is where we are, this is why I think we're great today. And then tomorrow you're like, I'm going to do initiative 1, 2, 3. I'm going to make sure that parents feel like they could come in and put a post-it on the board of how could we engage you all more. I'm going to make sure that parents know there's coffee and chat. And I'm also going to make sure that parents do X, Y, and Z. Those are 3 tactics you're going to work on in Q1. When I say Q1, not Q1, let's say September, October, November, the first phase of the school year. Because then afterwards, you're going to be like, you know what? Looking at my data, I know that I have reached these parents. I know I have improved this by 100%, right? And I did X, Y, and Z. And then you could come back and saying, you know what? The parents were present. Why were they present? Because when we did have this Zoom meeting, it could be they showed their face on camera, right? Or we did have the community fair. They stopped by my table and said, hey, I got your email, right? And here's this, right? Here is this thing you asked me to fill out, a quote to put up on your quote board, or a resource that I found in the community. So that's what you have to also define, because I could say present is mediation or meditation. I'm sitting down, legs folded. I'm present to the time. You don't know I'm present because my definition of present is different than your definition of present. All right. So those are some things. And then I'll send you a quick also email on this because it's a lot that I just said. And it's a multi-pronged approach on defining where I am, finding the tactics and strategy, and then saying, I did do this. It might not feel like it, but I did do this. Okay. All right. We're at the top of the hour.
And you know, one more piece, Natasha. So one piece on communication, understanding what it is to communicate to personality styles. And as you guys, if you want more information on that, I can support you around that. Because knowing how to communicate to the individuals you're speaking to, right, and how they receive information may be different than your own communication style. And you saw me do a couple of those things throughout us speaking today, but understanding that, right, and there's primarily 4 different communication styles, and look forward to and sorry, I was reading the chat at the same time, excuse me, Lena. So really primarily, and thank you, right, that was a beautiful piece of contribution for your goals. And again, I just ask, right, for everyone who shows up to any type of event like this, right, put your request in. Like, you showed up here because something inspired you to, right? You had a question, and as we share with our young people, right, there's no such thing as an off question, right? Everything is on point moving forward. And you heard me use different words and language intentionally. This is who I am in the world. Our words shape the world that we live in, and then they support the actions that we then take, which then align to the results that we actually produce. So, thank everybody for being here, right? And one of those out of the 4 is the heart. Right? When I shared intimate, it was about actually connecting to people, kids, right? We know, right? Because we're on a digital platform, we can't physically touch one another. We can't do that, right? But we can, simulate that, right? When we get on screen, right? That's actually a connection to us physically being engaged. Are you following? Right? And then there's some of us who like information. So for all those people who are looking for some more information and resources, I'm directly sharing with you, right, to reach back out to us, right? And because we're here to support you, and right, for my people, I know I got some of my stat people, because some people like statistics, and this is why I asked about, school. I asked about how many days, the exact number, right? The number of days. Some people hear numbers. They speak through numbers. They speak through, right, sequential reference. You heard me share 1 out of 10, but I shared about 5 different distinctions. So we did this in summary, but I go through these things in depth, and this is what Natasha and I have planned to bring together to support you guys in your roles and your responsibilities, and pretty much, right, your calling to being parent coordinators. So thank you for being here.